Upstream. Jared? Did you just say shit? Where?
I said it on the stairs.
No, where should I shit?
It wasn't a command, buddy.
Well, you said, oh, shit.
Well, actually, it's used as an exclamation, arguably more often than it's used as a noun. So, what I was acknowledging, though, was the 20-degree difference moving between rooms in this house. My room, hot as shit. The hallway, cold as shit. Here, cold as shit. But in the kitchen, I'm sure it's fine.
Hell?
The goddamn computer. But I want to show you. I made a lot of progress in the game. I want to show you for a second.
Okay. What the fuck? I can't get into Discord.
Scan it with your phone.
I cannot scan with my phone.
Like, what do you mean?
My phone doesn't scan.
Like, the camera doesn't work?
The QR does not interface with my camera.
You can't find it.
It doesn't do that.
You can't find it?
It doesn't do that.
You don't. It doesn't need. Your phone doesn't need to be special in any sort of way to use a QR code.
Well, when I put my phone up to QR codes, nothing happens.
Do you do it in the camera app?
Yeah.
You gotta do it in the Discord app.
Oh.
Scan this with Discord mobile app.
How do I do that?
Go to the Discord mobile app.
I'm on that. Scan QR code. Got it.
That one was a silly one, Zaya. You'll receive cosmic justice for that.
Well, I was looking for the scan QR code option. I didn't see it on my first log through. Nitro. 1 sec, Jabber. Okay, Okay, hey stream. Get some WoW started up here.
Welcome to Radio Melee. We're back with another exciting edition with another champion, another legend of the game, and somebody who I was just telling Wizzy this. I used to watch a show called Esportsmanlike Conduct, which was Atriox's old esports podcast with Stans, and I always thought the best episode they ever did was when they brought Wizzy on as a guest. So we had to snag him this week, especially hot off a win big win at main stage. Wizzy, good to have you.
It's cool to be here. I'm excited to talk about some stuff.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
How's your weekend? You watched main stage?
I did. I watched main stage up until the point where I had to collapse on Sunday. But I did go back as long as we could.
Everyone collapsed, I feel like, who was trying to watch.
Yeah. I got there as long as I could, watch as much as I could. Fun tourney.
Definitely fun tourney. Your boy popped off a little bit. Your student. Is it safe to call him that? Kadoran?
Yeah, I think he would be okay with that.
Okay. I feel like that's an honor, if anything.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I mean, this was the second time since, I guess, Riptide that we've had kind of a large scale offline major, and a bunch of people qualified for Summit, including Wizzy, which is awesome.
Love that.
And, I guess campaigning opens up today. I think I saw the tweet on BTS Smash. I think people are going to start opting in. So, Wizzy, I'm sure you're glad you don't have to do that.
I'm glad I don't have to do it. I'm
Wizzy,
so glad.
Is there someone that you want to endorse for Smash Summit?
Oh, boy.
I have no idea who's running. I'll choose right now.
That's a good question. Let me pull it up.
Sure.
Let me pull them up.
All right. While you do that and you have the full list, Toph, let me ask Wizzy something a little different. What was your preparation for the tourney? Because you've had some really good runs. You've had some big wins now. Had a few of them. Was there anything different you did to prepare for this? Was it a standard routine? How did you feel going into this?
It's funny because, this was, one of those tournaments where I feel like I didn't get enough practice. I didn't get enough preparation, but somehow I ended up working out. And I feel like another big tournament I won, I also had the same feeling where I feel like I didn't prep enough, and somehow, I don't know, the fact that I didn't play enough almost, reset me, or maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. The times I did prepare, with the time I did have, I did prepare, but I didn't prepare as much as I wanted, basically.
Was there something that was preventing that?
I'm trying to remember. I was getting my controller fixed, one, and then so I kind of put off practicing a little bit because I'm I don't really want to use a secondary controller because I don't want to get used to it. I ended up playing with it a little bit regardless, but it was mainly the controller, and I guess I just took a little bit too long. The days came by quicker than I expected, and then that was the main thing I remember is the controller thing.
Okay, cool. All right, Toby, you got that list there. Let's see what I want the heat. I want to see who Wizzy's endorsing right now.
Okay.
Some of the people who are already opting in. Remember, this is early, so maybe more people will even continue to opt in. But Ben, no fluxes. Of course, the meme legend. Android Zero is opting in. He's been kind of a hot topic lately. Big up and coming Falcon. Tyler Swift didn't get his shot last time, getting a shot this time. Free Palestine is opting in this time around. Kubi, the Sheik from Canada. Secrets, I think, is the Fox that beat Axe at Riptide. So that's pretty big. And a couple other. Let's see who else we have that's pretty exciting. We got Skullbro, who's I think probably the best doc these days. He's a Dr. Mario from Europe who I think has been placing top 8 and stuff over there. And we got JCam, who won the Central America region He's from Panama, and he's incredibly good apparently. And Slug, the Ice Climbers player. So bunch of interesting players. Chape as well from
Chile.
Chile. That's right. Oh, and Riken from Chile. So there you go. Some
Okay.
Chilean representation.
Okay.
Right now, it looks like I see Ben at the top. I think Ben is probably the best player that has.
Is it is it already started?
I think
Opt-in.
Opt-in has started. I don't think
Oh
anyone's
really?
voting
I had no
yet.
idea. I know. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, definitely Android Zero. I would vote for him.
Is it
That's
just
a
is it
solid
because of
pick.
Falcon? Do you love the guy?
I'm friends
what's
with
going
him.
on? Okay.
Everything. I'm friends with him, and he started off as like a fan, and he's getting good now. I don't know. It's kind of like I was a huge fan of basically all the top players, and now I became good. So it's kind of like the same thing. And so he plays Falcon. He plays similar to me. None thinks he might be the fastest Falcon. So there's that. That's cool. He's really fast. He has fast movement.
This is an endorsement.
Yeah,
Good endorsement.
he'll definitely take it far. He's definitely someone who would not take this opportunity for granted. I know that.
And how much should someone, if they're listening to, spend on Android Zero at minimum?
I don't know how to put a number on it.
Okay, yeah, that's tough.
Just do what you can to help him. That's
Do what you can. Always depends on your bankroll, you know?
Yeah,
if you're loaded, you can put a lot of money down. If you don't have much to your name, then it is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Android Zero, last week actually in Verdugo, there's a really stacked Verdugo West that None, this is the SoCal local, he actually outplaced both S2J and None, which is...
Oh, really?
I would say rare, yeah.
Wait,
I would
this
say...
is before main stage?
Before main stage. It was
I
the
didn't even
SoCal
know that.
local before main
Yeah,
stage.
I think after me, S2J, None, and Gatsu, it's him. I mean, there's Sechi, but he's not very active, so I don't want to it's not that Sechi's not number 5 or anything. It's just that he's not playing, so I'm just gonna count him as inactive. But in terms of active, I think Smuckers isn't that active. I could be wrong. Do you know about that, Toph?
I think
I
I've
don't
been
know.
seeing him in the nightclubs lately.
Okay, maybe he's a little active. I don't know, but in terms of Android Zero is definitely the 5th best Falcon right now in terms of very active players.
Yeah, and he's starting to place consistently. Got 17th at Riptide. I know he beat 1 or 2 pretty. I don't remember who he beat, but they were. I remember hearing it, and I was like, "Oh, those are good wins."
Yeah.
So he's definitely starting to put his name out there at the national level. And this would definitely be a huge opportunity for him. I don't think he's definitely never been to a summit, right? So I think it'd be cool.
I don't think so. I don't think he's even been as a VIP, and I think he's SoCal.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there you go.
All right.
It's a good pick.
It is a good pick. Everyone, you heard it here. Wizzy endorsing officially, and he cannot back away from it no matter what happens. Android Zero. So there it is. But in the meantime, we need to see who I think the people endorsed for Elijah Wood, who he would main in Melee. Community Place. Look at the segue.
That's right.
So we had Polish on last week. He wanted to know. He had 2-part question. I forgot the serious part, admittedly, but he did want to know who Elijah Wood would main in Melee, and so we're going to get that up on the screen. And while we're reading through this, guys, be sure to also keep in mind that you can use !Radio Melee in my chat or Toph's to come into the Discord, ask your question, and get your question on stream. But yeah, Toph, if you want to take away 1 or 2 of the questions, I can read them if you want. Up to you, man.
Yeah, and I'm looking at these responses. I'm starting to remember, I think, the other aspect of, because I think he had a 2-parter.
Yeah.
I think the other thing he was asking was remember that one week I asked, kind of what is your relationship with Nick All-Stars? I was asking people, are you playing? Are you watching? Are you interested? Are you not that interested?
Yeah.
And I remember Polish kind of gave actually the Melee version of that. He was basically asking to all the fans out there, to all the viewers, are you a serious competitor? Do you go to your locals? Do you just kind of play unranked? Do you not really play at all and you just kind of watch? And so we got a couple cool answers here. CV, I'm strictly a spectator when it comes to Melee. To me, it's just like watching the NFL or the NBA. I talk about it. I watch enough for my wife to know top players. And I've always been a casual player, whatever the newest Smash game is. And I literally can't imagine Elijah playing anyone other than Luigi. Luigi is a really good pick for him. Yeah.
There were two answers here that actually have Luigi, and then the third one is green Pikachu. So we're locking in Elijah Wood as a green color player anyway.
Mm-hmm. He is, yeah. I'm looking at this second answer. My eyes just happened to catch it. The second answer, I can read this one. I'll just read it. You can read the third one. I've been an avid spectator for the past 6 years. I love to occasionally hop on NetPlay to get bodied by a random Mario player when I have the time in my work schedule. I'm sure he's talking about none. If I could participate more in my local scene, I definitely would. Elijah Wood would, without a doubt, be a down smashing green Pikachu man. Something about the green, I think there's like a. I was going to use the word synesthesia. I don't think that applies here, but something about Elijah Wood, Hobbit, right?
Okay.
Lord of the Rings, The Shire, green. Probably not very technical, right? It's not Legolas, right?
Okay.
He's he's not even really a combatant for most of the movies, right?
Yeah.
So I can see these kind of more whimsical picks like Luigi or Pikachu being very apt for someone like Elijah Wood.
Yeah, Luigi does use your own weight against you when he nares out of your hit stun. That makes sense.
Wait. Was that a reference to Lord of the Rings? What do you mean?
No, it was more like you said he's more whimsical, and I was thinking more of like a jujitsu style guy where he's not trying to actually fight; he's just trying to get out of the way or whatever.
Yeah. You don't mean jujitsu; you mean aikido.
Yeah, sure.
Aikido.
That is what I mean. That's right. That's a better word for what I was going for. I'll take the next one so I can stop sounding foolish.
You're not foolish.
Oh, thank you.
But if you're ever wondering, I think jujitsu's all about throws.
Yeah,
Jiu-jitsu's a very throw-heavy one.
Right.
But anyway.
That's a good point. Good clarification.
I don't even do any martial arts. I'm the spectator of martial arts. Some people call me the Justin Barton or the Adam Frankius of martial arts.
I don't understand that reference, but I salute you.
These are the YouTube, the commenters.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the living monkey. I was zeroed in because I had to read it. I was locked in. That's on me.
All right,
but living monkey, I'll just go for it now. He said he's a very active participant. He unfortunately thinks a lot of Melee viewership just spectates, which, I mean, the two previous answers were about that. He says it's fine, but I fear a lot of people are missing out on some great experiences in Melee. There's a local scene nearly everywhere, and especially with Slippy, it is so easy to get engaged nowadays. Luigi, obviously. Yep. Green Man be chopping in there, and makes sense. But yeah, I do think there's a huge portion of the Melee player base that spectates. I think there's some people that have a problem with that. I'm not one of them. I think it's okay, but it is kind of always interesting to see how different it is because I think a lot of people on the show now will see it from a different lens. Wizzy, do you have any thoughts on the makeup of the community viewership players versus spectators and Elijah Wood main?
Elijah Wood main, I don't know what to say. But you said Melee community spectators versus players, like.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear Goofy changing the thermostat and then leaving.
Like the relationship between them, or like the differences, like.
Well, what percent of the community do you think is spectators versus players? And obviously, no one has all the data in front of them. This is kind of just what you feel.
Well, I definitely think Ultimate has way more like casual viewers than Melee, like because like at this point Melee's like 20 years old. I feel like there's probably a good amount of spectators who do play the game, maybe not like as not like super hardcore going to every tournament, but they know some tech skill. They know about wave dashing. They might have some basic competitive scene knowledge. Not everyone, but there's probably I would say it's like probably. I'd imagine there's a good amount of spectators who understand the competitive scene of Melee more than like Ultimate, for example.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
What it sounds like to me is people being annoyed of like spectators who don't know what they're talking about in chat. Is just like the vibe I get. Like if they're having an issue with spectators and they don't go to tournaments, it's like people being annoyed that the spectators don't understand the player's point of view because they don't go to tournaments.
Wizzy, how often does it happen to you that someone tells you that comes into your Twitch chat or you see it somewhere else on Twitter or whatever that they tell you how to play the game and you might
really
question,
rare.
Oh, it is
Really rare. Yeah. Yeah, it's really rare. I think. Yeah, I don't. Honestly, most of the time I do get advice. It's from somebody who they'll like they might have like a good understanding of a certain area of the game, so they'll assume that what they're suggesting actually might have some validity. So I guess I've been lucky.
I'd say
in that
so.
regard. The
Yeah.
PP, is your experience any different?
I mean, it'll depend. I mean, if
Don't watch it.
it's one of those things where it also kind of depends
Yeah,
on what you're
watch
giving
Fire
out, right?
Emblem
Like if
Royal.
you're more saying I'm not sure about something, then people will very
Oh,
often
yeah,
want to
yeah,
step
yeah.
up and say something.
Yeah.
But even if you're like, well, there's this thing and you know what to do about it, it's just kind of complicated or frustrating or whatever. People might, even if you talk about it like that, where it's like you pretty much know what to do, it's just kind of weird or difficult. People might still bring up a lot of stuff about it, like, oh, it's not as bad as you think,
Yeah.
or whatever. So it really kind of depends, I think, in part in what you put out there, but. It goes in waves. If I have a larger chat on a given day, I notice it happens a little more, and that kind of stuff all just kind of matters.
I do ultimately think spectators are the lifeblood the lifeblood of the scene in a way, because I remember when there really weren't spectators. Like when I started playing Melee in 2000, I guess it was 8, and I started really going to tournaments in 2009. Like pretty much everyone who knew anything about Melee, like tournament scene, all of them played. Like everybody played. Like if you there wasn't such a thing as a spectator.
It was rare anyway.
Yeah, it was rare, and there wasn't really like that widespread kind of like at least appreciation for watching Melee. And like I actually think something that's kind of cool now is a lot of my friends that I met, like for example, when I was working at Twitch, or friends that I meet from other esports scenes, like they know a lot of things about Melee now. Like there's a lot of like actual kind of like esports people, like League of Legends community members, or like Dota community members, stuff like that. You look at Beyond the Summit, right? There's a lot of like the Beyond the Summit guys are mostly coming from a Dota background, at least the OG Beyond the Summit guys. But I think it's really cool when like other gaming scenes, like even though they're playing their other game or they're commentating their other game or they're running events for their other game or what have you, it's cool when they show an appreciation for competitive Melee. Like I remember a lot of people after like Summit 11, were coming out of the woodwork. A lot of people like League of Legends casters were like, "Wow, that was so hype!" It's cool to see Mango Zane, such a close set, and cool to see Mango clutch it out. I think that's really neat because that definitely didn't used to be the case 10 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know we are hard cutting a lot of these transitions, but we want to be respectful of Wizzy's time here, so I'm okay if you guys are bringing in our first caller.
Let's bring in our first caller. Hell yeah!
All right, we got Fate of Reality. What's up? And where are you calling in from?
Hello. I'm calling in from Austin, Texas.
Oh, good city.
Mm-hmm. Good Melee scene here.
Yeah, it's true.
Who's the best player in Austin?
Oh,
Sorry, I know it's your question, not mine.
Yeah, right now I would say probably it's Palpa, since he was able to be
Yeah,
lucky.
Palpa's hella good.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Be
Yeah,
lucky,
what's your
beat
question?
Albert and whatnot. So question. So with Cody and I remember some other people saying on Twitter how difficult it was for them to get through their schedule during main stage. How do you think, like, what would you think could be done to help make scheduling better at major events so that the stress is relieved from some of these players?
I can start. I can take this one because there's one thing that immediately jumps to mind for me. And I noticed this as soon as I got my commentary schedule. I looked at the commentary schedule. I couldn't help but notice, and this is no shade at anybody who works at Beyond the Summit, because I think they're so good. They're just such a great tournament production organization. And they really have so many talented individuals, and they knocked it out of the park with main stage. But when I looked at my schedule, I couldn't help but notice that they allocated 3 hours for Ult Top 8 and 3 hours for Melee Top 8. And I looked at that, and I thought this was as early as Friday. I looked at that, and I said, I don't know.
Sounds like a great mistake.
That doesn't look like I've been in Melee tournaments for a long time. I've never taken part in a 3-hour top 8. It doesn't happen. And it used to be even worse, mind you. People used to allocate their schedule, and they would have a spreadsheet, and they would do 2 hours for top 8. And you'd look at that, and you'd be like, what world are top 8s ever 2 hours? That doesn't make sense. I would say that on average, a top 8 is about 3 hours 45 minutes. Can run a little quicker, can run a little longer. I mean, Melee ran pretty long at main stage, but we didn't even have Wizzy 3-0 at H-Fox and Grants. We didn't have a bracket reset. It could have got longer.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
So I think I'm
guess.
sure. I think you guys should. Yeah, spoiler. Sorry.
They didn't watch, and they're just, Wizzy's just randomly here.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Surprise.
He probably got like fifth at main stage, but he's here now.
He's here now. But yeah, I think the first thing is let's just all as a community, as TOs, as people who make schedules, let's be honest with ourselves. Top 8s do not take 3 hours. They take like closer to 4 hours. That's just how it is. At least for Smash. That's my piece. That's my thing.
Good start.
my
Wizzy, you experienced it from the player side.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you felt stood out to you?
Yeah, schedule is really difficult for main stage in particular. I mean, most other tournaments, it's not as difficult to deal with as it was at main stage. But I know for like main stage, like Friday, I felt like me and Gatsu, we got fourth in doubles, but we could have done that bit better for sure. But by that time in the night, my brain was shutting down, which one, because of scheduling, ran late, but two, also because I'm coming from East Coast and I flew in the day
Yeah.
before, so like I just got destroyed. Because when you come from East to West, the problem's not waking up early. Waking up early is easier, but staying up late is harder. And so, like by the time I got to like my I don't know why my Steam's on. By the time I got to losers, whatever it was where me and Gatsu lost, my brain was literally shut down. Like I could not do anything, and it's like I don't really want to drink caffeine. Like I'm gonna go to bed soon. Like that's not gonna be fun. So that was Friday, and then Saturday was also rough. A little bit better. Each day, staying up late got like the slightest bit easier, but still really hard. I was really glad it's gonna sound. I was really glad I beat Lucky because I wanted to get out of there and go to bed, and I was like, I'm on East Coast time. I need to get out of here because I think our set finished around like 10 p.m. or something like that. And then I was surprised I handled it as well as I did on Sunday night. I didn't realize like the Hungry Box Grand Finals was that late, and I don't know. Maybe the adjustment was starting to catch up a little bit, but it was just so hard that I just kind of thought of it as like I'll just do what I can. But yeah, this sucks.
Yeah. So the question is, how can scheduling be better? But it seemed like your issue was just how late things were. So would you just want? How early would you want things to end then to be easier for you?
I like things to end around like 8 or 9 at the latest, like 8 or 9.
Is that East Coast time or West Coast time or whatever?
I was kind of saying just in general. I mean, maybe for like a Sunday top 8, it can end a little bit later because like the very final stretch of the tournament. But I just don't like. I basically the scheduling got amplified. Like the bad scheduling got amplified because I came from East Coast.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I talked to Kadoran, who talked to Blur, and I found out a little bit more about why there were actually some issues, and so I can share that. And I think one of them was they didn't have a lot of volunteers. I'm not sure how that impacted some things outside of pools, but I mean I could see even top 64 how that could make things slow down. So I understand that. And then I think the other thing was the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I think there was a lot of schedule finagling to try and include that and make that all work out, and that seemed like that caused some issues too. And then I think I heard 55% of all of them DQ'd. So
oh my gosh,
I don't know. That might not be a true statistic, but that's what I heard.
Okay.
So if it is true, then that means that that may have caused some other issues. But if it's not, even if most people did enter, then there would still be difficulty in running all of that because there's like a third main event when most events usually focus on 2. So I could see how that could be a challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what else I guess this is a moment to say, please volunteer at tournaments. It does seem like it makes a big difference. You know, I think a lot of the top players would prefer things not ending so late, East or West Coast. So I think those are probably some of the biggest things. I know TOs have their own things they'd like to say about this, their own player frustrations. So I don't think this dialogue is over, but certainly I did feel for the players. I've been in situations like that before, and hope that can go a little better.
Yeah, it's always challenging. I mean, I remember that was one of the big things when I was trying to compete at a lot of East Coast tournaments. Was like always the time zone, the time difference was challenging. I've been there. I remember a tournament. I actually flew. Never doing this again. I flew to Canada on a red eye, and I remember trying to get through. It was a 2-day tournament. I remember my last match on Saturday, and I was crashing so hard, and I was playing against Coffee Black, who at the time was maybe 5th or 6th in Toronto, and I remember thinking to myself, I just need to get through this. I was playing pretty bad, but I was like, if I get through this, I can go to bed. Tomorrow's gonna be great. And I barely clutched it, and I was like so thankful. I was like, oh, I got to go to bed. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. But yeah, it's always challenging, and I know that for TOs there's a little bit of a trade-off sometimes when they're trying to make a schedule that doesn't have top players who have to play in the morning and then play at night versus like I feel like sometimes there's talk of like scheduling that's better for the average player versus scheduling that's better for top players. But I don't know. I wish if I knew more about it I would say more. But I mean I've been to events that I felt like were run really really smoothly and no one had any complaints about. So maybe we can look to those for inspiration and see what they're doing with their schedules because it's not like every major has scheduling issues.
We need a juggle guy on.
Yeah, big houses have been historically, I would say, pretty all right, at least from my memory.
Yeah, we'll see what he thinks about it. But
anyway,
yeah. So I think there are things that can be improved. I'm sure there's more discussion to be had, but I feel for the players. I think that's about all we got. Fate of Reality. Thank you for calling in. And do you have any shout outs for us today?
Yeah, shout outs to Austin Melee, of course, again. Palpa may possibly opt in for Summit voting. Not sure 100%, but could. Shout outs to Mech, great Captain Falcon / Ganon main, who's unfortunately going to be leaving us, going back to his hometown, Chicago. We will miss him very, very dearly, though. And shout out to Albert as well. Would be great to see him at locals again. He hasn't been around for quite a while, but would be great to see him.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Love these Falcon shout-outs we're getting. Love that.
Yeah, definitely. I had no idea where Mech was from. Wizzy, it's funny you were saying I wonder, like, because on Sunday, at the end of top 8, like, of course you're a little bit more used to the time difference because it's Sunday, but I wonder how much of it is also just like that, that like I guess maybe adrenaline or something. Maybe not.
Yeah, I was thinking that too because like grand finals, this is it. Like adrenaline, like it was kind of like definitely help me get through it. I think
makes sense. Well, about time to bring on our next caller, Lobana. Where are you calling in from? Hello.
Hello. I'm calling from France.
Ooh. That's your people, right, PP?
Yeah. Bonjour and bonsoir, French goober. What's up?
Bonsoir. Thanks a lot. It was really awesome to see you, PP, watch the Ronald documentary.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot for giving us the props.
It was cool. I mean, it was really well done. I mean, I got to pretend to be French for a little bit. It was a good time. Everyone won.
Yeah. Perfect. So, just going into my question, this was pretty much a Wheezy-centric question because it stems from the fact that I've been an Envy fan from the last decade, more or less, since they were on COD in like 2013, and I followed them in everything after that. So I was pretty ecstatic when they got Wheezy because I was a big Smash fan as well. So I was wondering, what have Envy done to help you maybe prepare for tournaments, or what are you doing with them as much as content goes? Because we don't see you a lot on their social media, but I know you shouted them out a lot after winning this weekend, and I was wondering with the whole merger going out with Optic Gaming, how it was affecting you or affecting your schedule or thing like that.
Yeah, so they mainly help me just by like being extremely supportive. Like I talk to like basically my manager Ian all the time, and he's always like super responsive and helping me deal with issues. Like sometimes like my headset almost stopped working, so they were gonna like ship me like a new one like while I was at the tournament, but I figured it out. Yeah, so like they're very supportive, they're very responsive. They're you know, it's just a great relationship all around. They're very helpful. And then in terms of content, I don't like we definitely have stuff planned. I think there'll definitely be like a lot more stuff like after Summit and Smash World Tour.
Are you using that time to focus on the tournaments, and is that why it'll be after?
Yeah, I'm gonna be focusing more on like Summit and Smash World Tour basically, and then I think afterwards we're gonna do like a bunch of content and a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah. What else did you want to know?
Not really much. It was a bit interesting. I don't know if Toph and PP want to join in. I don't know if compared to what you guys are experiencing with Golden Guardians, for example, is it like much different? Because I know you two are maybe more focused, more on content, for example. So I don't know if Zane or is it different than what you heard about other orgs getting into Melee?
I think for me, you know, it's funny for me. It was my first contract, but I do think it's cool when like when I feel like with Golden Guardians, the team is pretty hands on. Like all of the people we work with when we plan content. I talk to our head of esports pretty regularly, and I don't know. I try to take an interest in like the League of Legends side of things and stuff like that. And I think that's cool to hear that Wizzy's in really close. I think that's really important when you're in close contact with your your manager and you feel like they're actively giving you support. Because I definitely don't think that's every esports team. I think with some esports teams, they're really
very much depends on the team. I feel like.
Yeah. Golden Guardians. I mean, I don't have experience with them as a player, only as a content guy. But this is something that I wanted to ask Golden Guardians about later when I was going to events. I think it'd be good to either, because this is something I really liked with EG, was having a manager that would go on site to events with me. I like having someone there that could just help with things, respond to issues.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think it's super cool just to have someone there that's being supportive. So this was something I was going to ask about, and I imagine GG would have some solution to that because they do listen to a lot of these types of concerns. And I think for Zane, I believe I don't know if this is still true or not, but I think they were helping Junebug work with Zane in some way. I don't remember. I don't know the details of that, but I do think there was some help with that. And I know some other orgs do help with coaching as well, so it's not too out of the line to see that.
I hope it's just literally Zeke. I hope Zeke. This is an inside joke. By the way, speaking of player managers, Wizzy, I don't think I ever told you this. I thought for some time at Riptide, I thought Gatsu was your manager for a little while.
That's funny.
Because so you know how Gatsu used to have like he had like a beard and his hair was like a little longer. And at Riptide, he had like that really professional looking haircut, right?
Yeah.
He shaved his whole beard.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a mask. Of course, we're all wearing masks. Yeah. And I didn't recognize him at all until I looked like directly at him. But I saw you guys walking around for a while.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Wizzy's got his player manager. And then I walked up to you guys at some point, and I like looked at him, and I was like, is that Gatsu?
Oh, I see, dude. A lot of people actually told him that this past weekend. I like 3 different people are like, oh, I didn't recognize you.
Dude, that haircut. I got to see his hair guy because that's a whole makeover.
Yeah, he looks so different.
He looked so buttoned up. I thought he was just some professional dude. You know.
Would you want Gatsu as a manager?
Me?
Yeah.
You think he'd do a good job?
It would be funny. It would be funny.
He would, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, my manager now is really good. But yeah, I don't
He
know.
could be assistant manager.
Yeah, assistant manager. Sure.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh man. Well.
Thanks for the question, Lobana. It's cool to hear. I think every esports team is different.
And by the way, yeah, the Optic merger is super cool. I'm excited for what's gonna come.
Oh yeah,
out of that.
you're finally Optic Wizzy. It happened.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's tight.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you with the new shirt and everything. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, for having me, and thanks a lot for answering. Thank you, Wizzy, for winning it for us this weekend. Was really happy to stay awake until 7 a.m. here in France to see you win it, so we can
That's,
it in
that's
the
an
end.
accomplishment.
Wow. Thank you, Lobana. You got any shout-outs?
Yeah, two quick ones. Thanks again, Wizzy, for winning it this weekend and making me staying up not worthless in the end. But mainly shout out to the scene here in France. Shout out to anyone working either in Melee or Ultimate. I know we beef from time to time, but it's really takes everyone to make a scene go around, especially when you're not on the strongest region for your game. So you know it is, man. Thanks a lot for having me tonight. Have a nice time, guys. Bye.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
I know my camera went black and white for a second, so
Yeah.
it happens. Yeah, I fixed it.
Dude, Toph, I feel like I don't know if anyone's told you this, but when I watch your stream, you look like you're sitting in like the same room as Leffen.
Yeah, it's a similar layout, right?
It's like
a
the
similar layout.
window and like even some of the stuff in the back almost. Like I don't know, it's just like dude, he lives in Leffen's house or something.
They are the same.
People have said that they've never seen me and Leffen in the same room at the same time.
Okay.
Well,
But yeah,
congrats on the Fox Toph. I'm happy for you, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I actually have heard that. I think part of it was not intentional.
Camera angle, I think. Like I don't know.
Camera angle, yeah. I mean, we're definitely sitting at the end. I'm definitely sitting at the end of a room, right? Like the same where Leffen is. So
Yeah.
similar layout for sure. I think it's just a good layout. Like if you have a room that's shaped this way, I think it just makes sense to put your. I don't know.
Yeah, it probably does. Probably does.
Window. Well, I think we got our next caller is actually ready for us here. What's up? Oh, it's Yokai Nels, longtime fan of the stream. What's up, Yokai Nels? Welcome. And where are you calling in from today?
Hey, what's up, guys? Calling in from New Jersey.
Love
Shout outs.
You're actually always calling in from New Jersey. It's gonna be exciting when you call in from a different location.
Well,
Yeah,
his
one
picture
day
makes
I'll
it look like
definitely-
he's underwater.
Yeah. One day I'll definitely call from another part of the country or like the moon or something. It'll be really cool.
We'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So first things first, of course, Wizzy, congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate that.
This is actually the second time I've been at a major that you won.
Oh really?
I was also at a Smash and Splash 5.
Wow.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was dope.
Good luck charm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
come to
sure.
the next. Come to the.
I'll come to as much as I can. I won't
Okay,
be at
thank
Summit, but good luck on that too.
All right.
All right. So my question is kind of a two-parter. So the first one is, so like the traditional Falcon plays in a certain way. We all know the way he plays. He's always been very explosive, very much like aggressive, jump in, do some crazy stuff. But you took a more structured pace with Falcon, and you break it down a lot more, and you more have a lot. I feel like you have a lot more of a flow chart in terms of like when you approach every single matchup. Like, why did you decide to take Falcon in that direction? And as a second part, what do you look at for other Falcons that seem to be a lot more explosive? Like, what do you take from them? Like, do you think that you can take some stuff from them, being more explosive in some parts, or
Yeah. Good question. So I think when it comes to like why I did it, is basically just like I just want to win with Falcon, and I don't need to put like a artificial constraint on me, as in like, oh, I need to play a certain way. So in my mind, it's just like, okay, whatever the best option is, I'll do that. So kind of just, I'm just like, trying to find a way to win with Falcon, and I want to choose the correct option, and I want to do what's optimal, even if it's not as cool or maybe it's harder to execute. that's basically why I do that. I'm trying to play an optimal Falcon. Also, it'd be cool to like, just play the perfect Falcon and choose, the best options. And then in terms of like what you can take from aggressive Falcons, I definitely think if you're too deep in one direction or the other, it could be bad. So it's definitely good to have like a balance of some sort. Like actually, a lot of my improvement recently has been taking stuff from none. Because I feel like a lot of stuff he actually does so many innovative things with Falcon. I feel like, and so taking some of his stuff and it being kind of different from what my stuff is, as they would say, it's like a good balance. And so there's definitely stuff to take from both sides.
Do you? I want to call back to something you said early on when you said you didn't want to play with any artifice. You didn't want to do something just because it was cool. Do you think that there is any of that in S2J, Nun, Gatsu, and any other Falcons, or do you think that's just why you won't go in a direction that maybe they've gone a little more in?
I mean, I think there's obviously like back in the day, it was always like I felt like there used to be more people who like hated like people playing lame, if that makes sense. Like there's always been like, oh, you play lame, you play cool, and so I feel like that's been negated more. Like people don't like people are more like accepting, I guess, of different play styles, and also I feel like more people want to win. So like as people want to win more, they're willing. It's like they're I feel like
People are dying. Cannot get a freaking beauty check. Yo. Yes.
I watched this very dumb video online where a man was showing historical clips and like talking about them, but he changed the mouths in the video to sync up with his audio, and it's like sort of convincing. So like I thought, I'm like, what? Did we really have like a video of Alexander Graham Bell? Like he can hear really well, but we didn't, and I think that's fucked up.
I think it's fucked up that you were fooled, or that we didn't have footage of
No,
Alexander Graham Bell.
that someone would make something that is deceiving.
Yeah. People are gonna make much worse very soon. So many people are dying, bro. If you stay here for 30 seconds, someone will die.
How many people are participating in this DLC?
Like at least 1,000. Oh, and the whole DLC, a lot. But hardcore people, like 1,000. There's 300 online in the guild, in one of 3 guilds right now.
But yeah, this DLC doesn't have to be hardcore.
Right. Okay. Hell yeah. Cheers to getting paid soon. Check, please. Check, please. Oh, it's empty, my mans. Yeah, we out.
That's cool. I want to start using paper plates anymore.
Okay.